Dancing bells turn every pair of holiday socks into fun. Take a smidge of crochet magic and make this super easy gift for all children over the age of 3. Even Grandma can add a little jingle to her step. If the person you want to make these for isn't around so you can measure their ankle, what I do is I find a pair of socks that fit them, and then I measure across the ankle, and this one's a little over 3 inches. So I'm going to double that, which makes it 6.5 inches, and add 1.5 inches. So I'm going to cut my piece of elastic just a little under 8 inches. So I've cut my elastic, and then I'm going to overlap it 3/4 of an inch, and with a needle and thread I'm going to stitch these sides together. Well, I've already done that, and so here we have a piece ready to assemble into dancing bells. The next thing you want to do is thread the jingle bells onto number 3 cotton crochet thread, but a smooth yarn would also work. I'm using white because it matches the elastic, but then again, you can use any color. For each anklet, I threaded 21 1/2 inch jingle bells. So all I'm going to do is insert my hook, and I'm using an E-hook because that's what's called for this yarn. I'm pulling up a loop, and I'm just chaining one with a double strand. Now I'm going to drop off that yarn tail, and I'm going to proceed to crochet 3 single crochets into this ring. And I'm not going to worry if it runs around a little bit, if it twists around. It doesn't really make too much difference because you can straighten it out afterwards. Okay, so I've just crocheted 3 single crochets. And now I'm just simply going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once I get there, oops, I gotta find my bell. I'm going to slide the first bell down to my hook, and I'm going to chain 1 more. 1. That locks that bell into place, and I'm going to pull that one nice and tight. Then I'm going to chain 4 more. 1, 2, oops, 3, 4. So I now have that bell hanging. So I'm going to go back to my ring, and I'm going to insert my hook into the ring, pull up a loop, and work a single crochet. And I'm going to work 3 single crochets. Now I'm using 1/2 inch bells. If you are using bigger bells, you'll want to have less bells. Okay? So, you'd want to have less bells, but you'd like to put more spacer single crochets in between. And so here I have my 3. Now I'm going to chain my 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slide the next bell down so it's nice and tight. Chain 1. Pull it up tightly, and then chain 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Return to my ring and work 3 more single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. If you're having difficulty with the elastic rolling on you as you're working around it, this is what I'd like to do. Okay? I take the end and pinch it down and hold it right there about 1/2 inch away so it makes a little loop. Then I just work into that loop and I have more resistance and it doesn't get unwieldy. If you don't like this method in which you get these bells and they get kind of caught up on the string sometimes on the see, they'll twist around like that. I'll give you one other alternative, and then you don't have to thread them at all. Instead of sliding the next bell and using the next bell on the string, we're going to pretend we don't have them there. And what I'm going to do is I have a couple of bells on the side here. And I have a very small steel hook. This is a number 6 and it fits in perfectly. You can do this also. You can pull the strand through the bell, put that on your hook. Oops, there we go. Pull it up nice and snug. And when you go to do your first chain after that, you pull through both those loops. It does the exact same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, it's just a little bit different, but that way you don't even have to thread the bells onto the yarn ahead of time. And here's my number 21 jingle bell. Woo! Sliding it right into place. 1 to lock it down, then 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, this is important. And you want to make sure that your bells are not twisted on this. Now I've just put my last bead on. I need to return and make the last 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Pull that through and make sure they're not twisted. I'm going to give myself plenty of thread. I'm going to make sure this isn't twisted around here because I want to seam it, making sure it's straight. I'm going to pull this through. Okay, and I'm going to find my beginning yarn tail. And these should be on the same side. So I want to look at it like that. So this one got twisted around. I want to bring my ends together. Okay, and I am just going to make a knot here. Now I'm not going to trim it yet. I'm going to actually take my yarn tails and weave them in. But thread is kind of funny to weave in. That's why I put a knot there. I'm just going to weave them back and forth, and I'm only going to go under the first couple of stitches like that, and I'm going to come out and stitch along those 3 single crochets. You don't want to go further than the 3 because when you pull the elastic, that's the area where it gives, and you don't want those to be tied up too tight. Okay, then I'm going to bring it back under here and trim it off. And the other one's already woven in. So there, we're done. So now I have a set of dancing bells. I hope you enjoyed watching how to crochet the dancing bells. Please take a moment to subscribe and ring the bell to receive notifications of upcoming videos and events. Happy crocheting!